13th
Barnabas,
century
thank you for that turkey
TikTok
leg, bro. I
live stream
appreciate
be
it.
like, ooh, you could
Lady
send
Eleanor, how was today's
turkey
skirmish?
lings?
It was good.
Poggers.
Sir William, thank you for the bronze ingot.
I love that you can
Cedric of Canterbury,
gift
when are we getting out pheasant hunting again? Let me heal up from the skirmish first, man. Come on.
Something tells me he has an arrow in his knee as well. Song name?
Lady Anne,
There's literally a guy like right next to him playing the flute. Yo, looks like he's got some pretty distinguished gentlemen in his chat, at least like a duke or count or something. This month, in the depths of Wikipedia, the article Skibbity Toilet received more page views than the article about US Vice President Kamala Harris. And should we really be surprised? We live in a society. What to do when someone says that geography is just coloring in maps and capital cities? Step 1, jam your thumbs into their eye sockets. Have fun literally never being able to read a map again. Geography isn't so easy now, is it? Some random countries peacefully existing. Meanwhile, the freaking British. That was their approach method. And that's usually how they lured a lot of people just in. Keep in mind, the British did control 25% of the Earth's globe, so obviously their techniques were very effective. I hate this literally so much. Like, just why? Yes, this is where the Soviet Union got their inspiration for Lenin's open casket. Gotta say, even though they tried their best, this one is a lot better. I mean, I understand they're both anime waifus, but come on, this one is literally just a direct ripoff. About 6,000 animatronics are in use at Disney parks worldwide, and almost all are bolted to the floor inside. Keyword is almost all, which is why the night guards at Disney World, they better be careful. FNAF reference. Meanwhile, in Spain, yo, soy. Spain truly is the soy nation. Or I guess all Spanish-speaking countries are. I like how this was discovered by an Italian. Mercator Canada versus actual Canada. This is referring to different map projections. On most flat maps, Canada is going to appear pretty giant. Well, specifically on the Mercator projection. However, keep in mind, they aren't exactly that big, although they are the second biggest nation in the world. Still, regardless, reality is often disappointing. What I expected from geography class, yes, rocks. Simple enough. Meanwhile, what I got, natural disasters, water shortages, non-renewable resources running out, we're all gonna die. Yeah, sometimes this subject can actually be a lot more depressing. For example, I think I cry every single time I think of the Ariel Sea. The US has The Simpsons, the UK has Peppa Pig, and Australia has Bluey. Just a coincidence? I think not. I actually don't even know what this is saying. What similarities do these shows have? I guess I could see them between these two, but not really The Simpsons. The U.S. Army Chemical Corps during Operation Dropkick in 1958, pumping out 1 million mosquitoes, yes, literally, all on this unsuspecting part of Florida. And I'm trying to figure out why. I have no idea. Oh, that's nice. To test the practicality of employing mosquitoes to carry warfare. There was no way I was going to be able to predict that, but maybe I should have. What other reason would there be for this? When you realize why the USA's childhood obesity rate ain't just a number. We have a tray of food representing what they have in Italy versus a tray of food of what they serve us in the USA. And what's funny is I feel like it's gotten even better. When I was going to school, I mean, they were giving us porridge. Random, but in the 1950s, they used to give elementary school students wine during lunch. The West truly has fallen. The number of KFC restaurants. Now, one might think the country with the most Kentucky Fried Chicken spots would be the USA, but you'd be sadly mistaken. Why is China so obsessed? A true story is, for years, I always wondered why people brought up KFC whenever I brought up the US state of Kentucky. I mean, I figured it would come up, but the rate that it would come up, it was just overwhelming. And then I only recently realized just how many KFC restaurants there are throughout the world. I, on the other hand, I feel like I've only ever been to KFC 2 times in my entire life. Meanwhile, by the looks of it, I think some Chinese people are going every single day. Maybe 3 times in my life, but it's close. A colorized historical image of the Romans fighting the Goths, or something. I always knew the Romans and the Goths went at it a lot in ancient history. Crazy they're still keeping up with that tradition today. POV, you're a statue. statue from ancient Greece. So small. Something tells me they're not referring to the height of the statue. Don't forget, that was considered beautiful back then. Not the height, the other okay. European medieval warfare. Let's have a few hundred men wait outside a castle for a couple years. Meanwhile, Chinese medieval warfare. It's kind of just, let's send millions of bodies into the battlefield and, you know, just have them all mowed down. It's all good. We'll eventually accomplish our goals. And people wonder how the casualty numbers of the conflicts got so high. Medieval wars in movies. Have at thee. Huzzah! Versus the medieval wars in reality. Yeah, we're just gonna sit here for 2 years. And we'll sit out here for 2 years. Huzzah! Read the room, Jerry. Yeah, this isn't really a huzzah moment. But you can say huzzah in 2 years when everyone inside that castle has starved. Ah, yes. We have Britain and America. On one side, we have the Stabbas. And on the other, the Shooters. Imagine how powerful we'd be if we put these together. The US and UK having a special relationship. Meanwhile, all the other countries just having normal alliances. I mean, I don't see why they can't also join in. There's definitely another word for that, though. Weird this term special relationship started back all the way in 1944. Like, what does that really mean? Why do we need to use that? Isn't any sort of relationship between the UK and USA sort of like incest? In the US, we say coffee, please. In France, they say something similar, but in French. Then there's in all the Balkan countries. You kind of just use these symbols with or without the emojis. I think they all work. This man asks, what the hell is this? Looking at Austria, Mongolia, Serbia, Croatia, Poland, and Turkey all together. Oh, well, that's just Hungary. I don't know. It's actually kind of incredible. They fit all those countries in one place. In the US, you can drive for 4 hours and still be in the same part of the country. In the UK, you can drive for 2 hours. The local accent has changed twice and bread rolls have a new name. But in the Balkans, you drive for 4 hours, you pass 3 front lines, 4 and the language has changed 17 times. I mean, we just saw from that last meme, you could just go to Hungary and just switching blocks apparently takes you to like other continents. European men from the year 2000 BC to 476 AD. European men from 476 AD to 1945 AD for some reason. Then there's European men now. A cycle just kind of starting back over again. Wait, is it a cycle? How long until this goes away? I'm actually a little afraid. I got ripped in 2 weeks thanks to one simple trick. Ah yes, before I was just small and puny inside of the Italian peninsula. Now, after this one simple trick, I'm in 3 different continents. Click here to find out how. Oh, are the Romans running these scams still? Meanwhile, peak Venezuela gameplay. Yeah, it's not gonna work out. There's no food there. But yeah, I've mentioned this so many times. Apparently, gold farming in RuneScape does offer more economic opportunity than other jobs in Venezuela. Go to McDonald's. Average meal is now $10 to $15. It's truly over. The West has fallen. It's not only McDonald's, but it's like Burger King's, Pizza Hut's, Taco Bell's. This, but unironically. Meanwhile, on McDonald's Japan's Twitter account, maybe Western McDonald's have fallen, but it appears the eastern side is still going pretty great. I love how they posted this, and for some reason, everyone just lost their mind. In all sorts of different ways, but I feel like sadness was a big one. Week 25 of Gaddafi maxing. I'm only 22, so I had to use special creams to accelerate my facial aging. I got the hair almost down to a T, and now I'm working on the mustache. I'll keep you guys posted. I didn't realize we're all striving to look like the former dictator of Libya now. Chess players be like, I didn't see that coming when their opponent makes a move created in 1458. Bro, what do you mean? They rolled out this strat 550 years ago, and it's not like the game's gotten any updates since then either. The Aztecs seeing the eagle perch on a cactus in the middle of a freaking swamp. I mean, this is one reaction to it. They had to build the city there. This iconic image is still represented on the Mexico flag. The prophecy forced them to build a city whenever they saw this image of an eagle and a snake, but I never truly realized, what if they knew this was a horrible idea? They just went through with it anyways. Man, oh man, I hope tomorrow will be a better day. Meanwhile, Pakistan declaring war on India. I mean, at this point, like, let's just not even jinx it. Oman asks, can I touch you? Meanwhile, Iran No. I actually never truly realized how it does look like the Iranian borders were supposed to go straight, and they kind of backed away as soon as Oman tried to poke them. Is Oman the kryptonite to Iran? Map shows how many times each state fits into Texas. Oh, look at that. It's 1. Texas fits into Texas 1 time? I didn't know that. It's one of those things where you probably didn't even need to put the number. We knew. Saying just the UK, saying the United Kingdom versus saying the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Much more fancy, although it is kind of a mouthful. Teacher, the test isn't that confusing. Meanwhile, the test. Ah, yes, we have Europe and London is collided. London looks like it's in the Netherlands now. Potato Ireland, which might be offensive. Finland and Sweden conquered Norway. I guess Portugal's been banished to just their islands. Why does Algeria control all of Africa? And I guarantee you that teacher's gonna be like, guys, we went through this throughout the entire semester. Why don't you know it? How other countries see the nation of Brazil. Meanwhile, how Paraguay sees Brazil. It's even better because there's a lady here. Brazil's part of the reason why Paraguay lost 90% of their male population. Ah, yes, immigrating to the US, expectation versus reality. I mean, you can get to this level, but you're gonna have to go through this area first. Think of it as like a tutorial or just a grinding stage. Some people never leave the grind. The vast majority, actually. Nostalgic person, I wish we could go back to the good old days. Meanwhile, literally every historian, I think about this all the time. Like everyone says they're living in the worst time ever. No, like, you're not. It's not even that hard to figure out that you're not. It doesn't take that much research. Happiness is a cabin on 800 acres, 3 lakes, 2 mountains, a forest, and no neighbors. Yeah, that does seem pretty nice. At least if you're a skinwalker. I think this is basically his way of doing kind of Uber Eats, getting food delivered to him. Since hair isn't preserved in fossils, we can't rule out the possibility that dinosaurs looked like this. Gotta admit, if they made these guys look actually realistic in the Jurassic World movies, they wouldn't be as intimidating. A screenshot from the movie Troy from 2004, Achilles calls Hector to battle. Here's Hector watching from the walls of Troy. Meanwhile, the great and powerful Achilles. Man, that movie's aged like fine wine. Last night, Corona led me down a YouTube rabbit hole, and I ended up watching a video of an Australian cheesemaker making Parmesan. He starts his video by saying, "Good day, curd nerds," and all the comments are Italians telling him to go frick himself. I love this Italian culture. It's such a beautiful thing. Like, I'm jealous. I want that. Today I discovered 2 things. A tank silencer is bigger than the tank, and also there are such things as tank silencers. Man, you gotta love that design as well. What happened to that old Greek philosophy we were talking about earlier? And big thanks to the patrons. Drew, I'm your dad, back with the milk. Look outside. JohnDenver, LuxembourgLover. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. Aaron, amateur archaeology. Carmel, Fredrik Tibblin, GoodOldRyah, InquisitorXarius, annoying friend. KirinoIsBestGirl, RyeThePie, sebby, if you hear this, I love you. And why am I doing this?